the stage of 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, and you didn't wait for the thing, did you?
You didn't wait for Contour to go. Well, not only did
I didn't wait for Contour.
Not only did he didn't
Of course I
wait,
didn't wait for
he was
Contour.
telling me to go faster.
I looked at George.
I go, bro, we're not on the same team. I don't care. Go faster,
Yeah,
faster.
George had 5 guys. I was all alone. No, maybe I had Popovich with me.
Yeah.
I looked at George. I said, I know we're wearing different jerseys, motherfucker. You better start riding, just like you used to.
Oh, I was.
And they did. And I got like a minute. I was like, oh, this shit's over. I got this. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move Podcast, talking about Stage 13, which is, of course, brought to you each and every day this summer by Ketone IQ. Alain, where we go?
Stage 13, from Agen to Pau. From Agen to Pau.
I mean, you know, not his best work. It wasn't that complicated. We all got that one. Agen to Pau.
A lot of our French listeners had your back on your pronunciation correction the other day about the T ending. They said you were correct.
Really?
A lot of French listeners. Yeah.
Oh, merci. I love the country of France. It's a true story. I love it. I do. Everybody thinks. Anyways, we won't get into that. By the way, 75th time the Tour de France has gone to Pau. We were talking about. I mean, this feels like it pops up a lot. And as Sir Bradley pointed out, it is the gateway to the Pyrenees. Makes sense. Today's show brought to you by Roca. They make the best shades, period. If you're watching the show, unfortunately, this is the way I sit outside at restaurants. And if I've got my shades on, I got my Roca shades on, but I've also got, as you can see, I've got the readers on top of them. You see this, Sir Bradley?
Yep.
I know it's not a good look, but it is so effective. And it's just very efficient, right? You just put these straight over. The best lenses, scratch resistant, super lightweight, the slip proof rubber on the insides, hinges. So whether you're rocking the sunglasses, the performance glasses, or the readers, the best there is out there. I see. Also, I follow their socials. Like some of the imagery, I'm like, why is the whole world not wearing Rocas? Like to me, especially in the peloton, some of the stuff we see, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's been kind of rough.
Rob and his crew in our hometown of Austin, Texas, hand built in Austin, Texas, just doing amazing stuff. Never slip, by the way. I mentioned that, but it's good, especially when you sweat your ass off like I do. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roca, ROKA.com. That's Roca.com. Use the code THEMOVE at checkout. Also today brought to you by Momentous. Most people know how important a healthy diet is for your brain and body to function at their best day in and day out. But we're still often short on the most essential nutrients to be our best, and that includes me. My go-tos are Momentous Creatine, Omega-3, and protein each and every day to make sure I'm covering all my bases. We work out. It's funny, like we got the mountain days starting tomorrow. We got days like today. We call those boring days, right? We turn on the TV in the gym. All of us hit the gym, watch the race, kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And post-workout, Momentous is our go-to. Let's talk about creatine for a hot second. Research suggests that creatine is as essential as any other macronutrient for optimal brain and body function. Momentous Creatine is sourced from Germany and is of the highest quality. Here's the other cool thing about Momentous. What is on the label is what is in the product. I want to say that again. What's on the label is what is in the product. Absolutely nothing else. There's a reason why the world's top athletes and experts use and help develop Momentous products. So if you're like me and you want to support your brain and body with supplements made and used by the best, go to livemomentous.com/themove. Use the code THEMOVE, all one word, for 20% off. That's livemomentous.com/themove. Also today brought to you by AG1. George, you're taking control of your health over there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
100%.
I will say, and I start my day every day with AG1. I unfortunately started my day.
I've been stealing your stash in y'all's pantry, by the way.
I understand.
Every morning.
But I start my day every day with AG1 because I do want to take control of my health. I had an unfortunate incident this morning with George, which I believe we will see soon. The man he's gotten really...
Is that when you came up and asked me for the plunger? Where I put the plunger, or not that one?
I did. Well, I did ask you where the plunger was. A true story. What's even more troubling is that I found it in your bathroom. So when somebody just steals the plunger and keeps it in there, I am so sorry, AG1. This shows you how good this product is. I tell you, this AG1 is so good, you will keep a plunger in your bathroom. Lars is going to fucking kill me. Lars, wow. Should we start over? We good? I think we're good. You tell these advertisers, these people try to forward through the ads. I've been meaning to say this. Yeah. All right. Do not forward
You never
through the
know
ads.
what's going to happen.
You just never know. I mean, you never know that George has a permanent plunger. You would not know that. Back to the real story. AG1 is a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support and is backed by multiple research studies, so you can trust what you're putting in your body. We all trust it, unlike a lot of products out there, because their entire formula is backed by research studies and not just the ingredients. Over 14 years, AG1 has been focused on innovation with a trusted nutrient-dense blend that's the perfect complement to our diet. If there's one product that we trust for whole body health, it is AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2. You heard that, Bradley?
Yeah.
Plus 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/TDF. That's drinkag1.com/TDF. It would be a fun experiment, right? Because you don't get a lot of sun, clearly. And you're surely low in vitamin D, Sir Bradley.
We all are.
So next, assuming you didn't just have the shittiest time in Aspen, we'll get into that. We do have, folks, and we are going to talk about the stage at some point, I promise you. We have an Aspen update from Sir Bradley. It involves a lot of legs. We'll get to that later. But if you come back, we will do some blood work before, and we'll have you on the vitamin D, see if that changes. Anyways,
all right.
Stage number 2 for Jasper Philipsen. What a day. Well, I mean, by the way, it's stage 13. I mean, perfect. Like this, it was all over the place, super fast, 49 kilometers an hour, crosswinds, selections. I feel like you guys are setting me up for something right now.
No.
I'm not feeling.
He wrote something on my notes.
I'm not feeling this vibe.
I unfortunately cannot share on the show, but it's hilarious. But like you said, Lance, stage 13, it was a war zone out there today.
Yeah.
First attack of the day, Victor Carpenot. Full gas attack. I think the average speed in the first hour was way over 50 kilometers an hour. It was a mix, in my opinion, between a mini Tour of Flanders and a mini Liège-Bastogne-Liège. There was 4 or 5 different groups on the road. The fact that Jasper Philipsen was still up there and won the sprint handedly, super impressive. I mean, the guy is a classics racer. He's not only a sprinter, the guy can do everything. So it was really impressive to watch him and Wout van Aert battle it out. And I know we're going to break it down more. I was pulling for Wout van Aert today and got second place again.
Close. I mean, he was right there. Christian Laporte was there. They just so much of this is about timing. They just they were. If you think about it, right? They raced 100 miles. They were 250 meters off. If he's there, if he's there 250 meters later, he might win the stage. He was coming.
Even 100 meters later, he might have won the stage because he came back on Jasper.
BNIM as well, didn't we? We were watching closely with him. He looked like he was going to be in. Well, he had a good lead out today. 3 of his teammates.
His team is.
He just got a little bit boxed, didn't he? In that final 300 meters, and the sprint. It almost started quite late, didn't it, for him to get out of trouble?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No one really took it up, but nonetheless, it was good to see Philipsen win again.
And I said yesterday that I feel like the competition for the green jersey is finished. It's
not.
It's not. I want to walk that back. I mean, these are 100-point stages. You know, if you figure Philipsen gets another couple, I mean, what has to happen is you have to always get points. And by the way, this can work the other way too, but. Some riders, you know, if Philipsen gets a 100-point day and Gourmet is caught up in a crash, well, now we got a race. Yeah. Right now he's in the green jersey, so it is not over.
Yeah, we still have, a bunch of teams that haven't won stages, so they're going to be doing everything they can to win a stage. And what's going to happen if they don't win a stage? They're going to sneak by Brigham Gourmet for second, third, fourth, and those gaps between Philipsen and Gourmet are going to start getting closer and closer, like we saw today.
Well, the GC guys are not leaving a lot of scraps for breakaways for other opportunists. They're kind of taking everything.
Well, today
with the wind, that doesn't. I mean,
there was
it's just every team for themselves, and you're trying to not lose time. So you are going. There's no shot for them to make it.
A couple of factors today, though, that actually made it harder and faster was that Adam Yates got in the breakaway.
Yeah.
Who is in top 10. So all of a sudden you have all the other teams that are like, whoa, you're about to take my place in the GC. So they start collaborating. Ineos was up there. Jaco Alula. This is what happens in the last week of the Tour de France. Guys like Bradley and Lance would rely on giving their team a break, so to speak, on some of these days because people start fighting for these lower positions in the overall classification.
Yeah, you get 3 different races now, don't you?
Yeah.
You get the race for the podium, and then you get the races for the top 10.
Yes.
Yeah. Because people try to salvage their tour that haven't done anything up to this point, and Ineos are one of them.
Right. Wow. Imagine that. I always found it funny when you had some team pulling, and I would have said, "What are they pulling for?" And they're just getting knocked out of the top 10. There are teams that come here and said, "Listen, we have 2 goals: win a stage and put a rider in the top 10." They're big goals. It doesn't sound like much, but they'll put the whole team on the front if they're starting to lose 10th place, because that was one part of their...
Well, the worst one was about 10 years ago. Do you remember when the team prize became a big competition?
Oh, yes.
And you'd have teams like Movistar. That would be their sole objective in the Tour de France, even if they were like 3rd and 4th on GC.
Yeah.
They'd start riding on the front on a random stage just to protect Team GC.
And you
could never work that out, could you?
Yeah, you can. And it's also not that easy to figure out because it's like the best 3 on each stage. Not necessarily the overall.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just let some guy go because it's an hour behind. He's still going to finish ahead of you on that stage, and it counts towards Team GC.
And a team like Movistar, that was almost a mandate at the start of the year.
Yeah.
We will win the Team GC at the Tour de France. They've won it so many times. You could just sort of, you could just bet on it, right? It was going to happen, and at some point they were going to be a factor in terms of putting guys on the front and controlling the race.
We need our production team, hopefully before the end of the show, get us a list of teams that haven't won yet the Tour de France.
Okay.
And then we can also start predicting some of the strategies that are going to happen based on the strengths of some of the riders on these teams that haven't won yet. We'll change the whole dynamics of the race moving forward.
Well, and the other big story today, which we discussed and predicted yesterday, was Primož Roglič does not take the start.
I'm so upset about that.
Yeah.
Nothing broken, but just pretty bashed up, wasn't it?
And just hard to keep going. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, if you got the rest of the season, keep in mind this is not the end of the season.
Yeah.
Right? The season runs through late October. You're just looking at it going, am I going to just sit around and be pack filled, risk another crash when there's I could race 50 more days throughout, whether he does the Tour of Spain or perhaps the Olympic Games. I don't know.
Interestingly, he opted out of the Olympic Games.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's not doing that. Maybe the Vuelta. Who knows?
Also, Juan Ayuso. This one's interesting, right? And we've talked a lot about perhaps the dynamic inside UAE, whether that's warm and fuzzy, we don't know. But it comes down with COVID, which we just learned after the stage. So while Roglic is a DNS, did not start, Juan Ayuso, a key member of Tadej Pogacar's team, starting tomorrow. DNFs, and now we find out he has COVID, which is not good. But what makes it even worse is having been there, just the close confines of cycling, team buses, rooms, you start to worry like,
And interesting stances amongst the teams. It's sort of like when COVID first hit the United States. Some people were like, what is it? It's just a cold. Some people were like freaked out, locked in their house. Morikov tests positive. Team instantly send him home. You're not racing. You're done. We don't want you around. Ayuso tests positive. He started the stage. So there's a lot of differences going on right now. And more people are probably, unfortunately, going to start getting it, which hopefully doesn't play much of a factor in the overall.
I don't know how much you've studied history, George, but Kazakhstan has traditionally been very conservative when it comes to things like this.
It has.
He's on Astana. They're from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
They're very, they take a lot of precaution and everything, geopolitical stuff, global pandemics. Yeah. They err on the side of caution every time.
Well, I think it's just going to be a regular part of our dialogue. Oh, they're out with COVID. Oh, they're out with a stomach bug. They're out with the flu. It's It's just part of the narrative now.
I thought it was Remco's interview after the stage.
had the
mask on.
Yeah.
They're all going to have.
This is starting to be, guys. I mean, why not? Why not take every precaution? You got a week to go, in a terrible, difficult week. Yeah, we'll go.
We have, yeah. But we don't even know if it is COVID, do we? I mean, at the end of the day, it's.
Oh boy, we're not going to. Oh no,
no, but we don't even. I mean, obviously there are some cases going around, and it is,
And there's stomach stuff going around.
But it's not a rare thing in the Tour de France coming into the third week for riders to start getting ill and things like that.
Yep.
It's changing of hotels, changing of kitchens and food, and as we say, it's these guys have been racing flat out now for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, it's shocking to see that how hard they're still racing. Like I said, I watched the start, and there was no question whether or not there was going to be attack from the kilometer zero. They're all lined up, fighting for position behind the car.
So
the
brutal.
car is going faster and faster. You could see the tension, and right away, a really strong group got away. Classic style group with Adam Yates, so that made the peloton work even harder to keep him close. This is a very, very aggressive stage. We saw Carapaz go with 20K to go, the very strong attack on one of the climbs. Those aren't panic cooking attacks. Those are attacks when everybody's on the limit, and it's the chances of making it are quite high because there's not that many teammates left in the peloton. Everybody's been racing full gas the whole day. So a guy like Carapaz can potentially get away. They did ultimately chase him down, but man, it looked so hard.
By the way, great tactic from UAE.
Yeah.
And that's what you're supposed to do. If you've got guys that are floating around the top 10, you put them in the break.
Yeah.
And you're done. You just sit back and say, we're not doing anything. Fine. Let Adam Yates win the Tour de France. You want to let him go up the road? What I will say is, to your point, George, of having the guys stacked up behind the, at kilometer zero, it had the perfect makings of a fast stage, right? You have crosswinds, you have a short stage, and you have a bunch of teams that haven't won a stage. So their directors are in their ear like, you're going in the break, and you're going from kilometer zero.
Yeah.
You have no reason, no excuse not to. You have to go. So that day is going to be fierce.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned something in a pre-production meeting about crosswind days like this, and there are guys that are they wake up in the morning, they're scared shitless, and they're like, oh, let me get through this day. Or if there are guys like us, for that matter, that we're kind of excited, like we most likely we're going to make that first group, albeit not an easy way to do it, but it's exciting when you get up there and it's very tactical. You have to sort of sniff. Now they know which way they're going and which way the wind's going, but back in our day, you kind of had to feel it out, sniff it out, watch the teams, who's kind of like bunching up together. Like in our day, it was Rabobank, like specialists in the crosswind. Yeah. You saw those guys together for some reason. All of a sudden, something was going to happen. So it's a great.
And there's not too many days left like that, is there? When you start breaking it down, you take the time trial out, the rest day, a couple of mountain stages. There's fewer opportunities for guys to get away on a stage like today and win.
Yep.
So, although we've got a week left, there's not many stages.
No.
This is where some people may have been a little confused. You had Yates up in the break, and Pogacar jumps to the front, but he saw a chance to drop somebody in a crosswind,
Yeah.
and just drill at it.
Yeah, and at one point we saw Pogacar, Remco, Vindigo, and 3 or 4 Leesma guys, Leesma Lisa bikes, breaking it up. I mean, early on,
and perfect for Pogacar. He makes that selection, and he's allowed to just sit there. Right? You got 4 guys. Jonas, you got 3 of your teammates with you. I'm just going to chill here in the back, which he did. But it's an unbelievable feeling when that. And before I say this, they also know where the coverage is. Right? What kills crosswind? Trees, right?
Yeah.
You get these boulevards or these roads that have forests on either side. You're not going to have crosswinds. Now with Google Earth, I mean, these directors, every director is watching the route, and they can see, right, where you're going to have this section, whether it's a kilometer or 5 kilometers, where it's just fields. Yeah. So they're looking for those opportunities.
What's that device they use too that shows the wind direction that they have in the cars?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
So back in our day, we didn't have any of those devices. What I would do is like, crosswind was happening. If there was a reason why, if I wasn't in the first selection of 5-10 guys, you look up the road and you see a section of like 4 buildings or something where you're about to get a little bit of a coverage from that wind, and that's when you go full gas. You're gonna get that coverage.
Take a run at it.
So that's some of the techniques we use back in the day. These days they have softwares. They know exactly where they're turning next. So it's
I love it when it starts to get lined out, right? And the nature of this is you start to basically run out of road. If you had a road that was a mile wide, nobody would get dropped because they can always find coverage. But, most of the roads are, let's just call them 10 meters wide. Well, when that road ends, then the last guy is going to start to lose coverage from the wheel in front. I just always loved it, and I wasn't a big, crosswind guru, but I could make a selection, and you look back and you're like, oh my God, they're gone. Yeah. Like it's a
nice feeling.
It's a cool feeling.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny when you're not in the line and you're just on the back of it, but in the wind, and you kind of someone shouts in, and you get in, and then the wind just stops all of a sudden. Yeah. And that feeling of just safety, and you can hear guys going at the back shouting, and it's great. But it doesn't happen too often in the Tour de France.
It doesn't.
We did have that day in 2007. Do you remember that day when Vinokurov and that split up the Astana in the Crosswinds into Marseille
in the Tour?
Robbie Hunter won the stage. Do you remember that?
I remember 2000.
We had the stage in 2009.
Yeah,
2009.
Yeah. And you didn't wait for a thing, did you?
You didn't wait for Contador. Well, not only did
I didn't wait for Contador.
Not only did he didn't wait, he was telling me to go faster.
I looked at George.
I go, bro, we're not on the same team. I don't care. Go faster.
George had 5 guys. I was all alone. No, maybe I had Popovich with me.
Yeah.
I looked at George. I said, I know we're wearing different jerseys, motherfucker, but you better start riding just like you used to.
Yeah. Oh, I was.
And they did. And I got like a minute. I was like, oh, this shit's over. Yeah. I got this. Of course I didn't. Until I didn't. Oh, boy. Anyways, we'll get into a little bit of business first. Today's show also brought to you by Ketone IQ. We often hear that fasting and exercise are good for the brain. HVMN launched the world's first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovation on ketones with improved effectiveness, taste, and cost. Ketone IQ delivers clean fuel that can cross the blood-brain barrier, supplying your brain and body sustained energy, focus, and sharpness. By the way, exclusive partnership in this peloton with Visma Lisa bike. And the ketones are everywhere. They're just everywhere. Everybody talks about them. Everybody uses them. They 100% work. Speaking of percentages, 30% off your first subscription order plus a free 6-pack when you use the link ketone.com/themove. Also, the Ketone IQ team is coming to Aspen. We're having dinner with them tomorrow night.
Yep.
Did I hear that right?
Yes, you did.
Also today brought to you by 8 Sleep. At this point, I'm sure you've heard of 8 Sleep. Their buzzworthy sleep technology called the Pod can be added to your existing mattress like a fitted sheet to automatically cool down or warm up each side of your bed. That you heard me, right? So you on one side, you want it super cold, and your wife on the other side wants it just kind of cold. Well, you can customize all that and in turn improve your sleep quality dramatically. How many of you are bad sleepers? A lot of you. 50% of you are bad sleepers. This is a game changer. I'm telling you, you'll be shocked at how big of an impact it makes. Today, I want to share some exciting news because the Pod just got an upgrade. 8 Sleep has launched their newest generation of the Pod, the Pod 4 Ultra. It cools, it heats, and now it elevates automatically. It is clinically proven to give you an extra hour of quality sleep. So that's right.
Beautiful.
So when I say elevate, that means you seem like you snore. JB got mad at me in the first week because I looked at him and I was like, you snore, right?
No, he said, you look like you snore.
You look like you snore. Okay, Sir Bradley, I kind of feel like you probably snore too.
Kind of like when he said, you look like you're deficient in vitamin D.
I have been known to snore.
Yeah. Well,
when I used to vape, that was terrible for my lungs, and I used to snore quite a bit of that. So that was one of the things. That's why I stopped.
Because of snoring.
Yeah, the vaping liquid.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, but now with the Pod 4 Ultra, it elevates, and so it cuts down.
It's just stopped it altogether.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
But also to the app, as the smart people call the UX, right? The user interaction, the user interface is incredible. The app and the way it all it's badass. Head on over to 8sleep.com/themove. Use the code THEMOVE. That gets you $350 off the Pod 4 Ultra, and they currently ship to the US, Canada, the UK, Europe, and Australia. All right, that's 8sleep.com/themove. Gets you $350 off with the code THEMOVE. George, speaking of sleep, how'd you sleep last night? What are you doing?
Like a baby. I'm crossing out. Wait, goes.
Am I getting set up? Stop. What is going? This is my fucking show. Okay, let me just time out everybody. This is the Lance Armstrong show. I know I call it the Move, but are you setting me up for something?
Actually, I wish I had.
I know you are.
But I don't. I promise.
This is unbelievable.
I don't. I will in the future, but today I'm just laughing at Bradley's notes on my notes.
You know what you're acting like? You're acting like Dr. Phil, okay? Because Oprah gave.
Let me show you Bradley's. What do you?
Hold on a second. Oprah gave Dr. Phil a chance. What?
Let me show you what Bradley wrote on my notes. In the pencil up top.
What an idiot.
This is what I'm doing. So yes, I slept
Dr.
like
Phil,
a baby.
how'd you sleep last night?
I slept like a baby.
Well, it must be nice to have no stress.
Stress? Are you kidding? I work with you every day, and I've been living with you every day, and we're going to show a funny video in the next couple of days of what that's actually like. But our friends at The Feed, which we're having dinner with tomorrow night, tonight, by the way, at 6:30, they sent me this great new drink called Pillar, and I drink it every night before bed.
And so you're saying it works?
Absolutely works.
Wait, so is that pineapple coconut drink that you left sitting out on the counter, like you leave every other drink sitting out? I did take a sip of that.
Yes. Yeah, it tastes great, and it's only $1 a day.
I mean, I'm not as cheap as you, but $1 a night for better sleep. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I'm down with that.
You've been pretty cheap lately, but check it out. They're from Australia, and our friends at The Feed discovered them. Just go to thefeed.com and get 20% off Pillar.
Yeah, Australia.
So we got
Australia.
Yeah. We got a great production team. What I asked like 5 minutes ago, they sent me the list of teams that have not won a stage. I'm going to read them out, and I think we should break it down real quick. We got Ineos, Lidl Trek, Decathlon, Bahrain, Victorious, Red Bull, Groupama, EF Education, Lotto, Israel, Premier Tech, Cofidis, Movistar, Uno X. So quite a few teams. Ineos obviously one of the largest budgets in the whole Pro Tour, World Tour. Haven't won a stage yet. They're getting a little bit nervous. They're fighting for top 5 in GC. Can potentially make that. Also maybe even get podium. Not sure with Rodriguez. Lidl Trek obviously lost Mads Peterson early on, so they're getting close. I mean, they had
all these teams are trying.
What's his name? Almost won the stage. Steuven almost
looked
won
great
the stage.
today.
Today he looked really strong.
Yeah.
Decathlon, what a year they've had before up until the Tour de France. I mean, they've won more races than they have in their whole history of their team. So, but they're at the Tour de France, the biggest race in the world. They're feeling a ton of pressure to win a stage in this last week. Bahrain, they lost one of their big guys yesterday. Bradley, help me out. Mr. Encyclopedia. Bilbao dropped out 2 days ago.
Sick.
They came out with 2 stage wins last year, I believe. They're feeling the pressure big time. Red Bull lost Primoz yesterday. Whole strategy has to change now. They've built their whole team around him. So we're going to see guys like Jay Hindley and all these guys trying to make these breakaways in the mountains. Group Armor with Mark Madio, your old team. Yep. I mean, you know how important the Tour de France is to them.
It's huge.
I mean, these meetings are getting more and more intense. They need to win a stage.
And especially for a team like Group Armor FDJ, you know, when the other French teams are doing well as well, they're winning stages. It becomes another competition within the French teams.
Absolutely.
It drives them even crazier.
There's 3 French wins already.
And every day they're reading about their team in the press, saying they haven't won yet. Pressure's building. Yeah. EF Education started off with a bang, yellow jersey. And they still got a great chance for a stage win. I'm sure they're happy with the yellow, but they really need a stage win as well. Lotto Destiny, very close on a lot of stages with Arnaud Delis, but they want to win. All these teams are, desperate for wins. Israeli Premier Tech, Ackerman's looking better and better. He's got 3rd place the last 2 days in a row. Cofidis, what's happening with them? Your old team as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're a funny one, aren't they?
Yeah.
They either. Well, they can only hope to win a stage, but I think it's been a while. They won a stage in the last couple of years, but before that, it'd been 12 years or something, hadn't it?
Yeah. Correct.
20 years.
Yeah. Two teams left. Movistar,
the one. This has been a really disappointing tour for them.
So far, hopefully Gaviria, figures it out in one of these sprint stages. But I haven't seen much else since then. They were strong on the gravel day, though.
They were.
They got second. They had 2 or 3 guys in the breakaway. But I mean, the only thing people care about in our sport is first place. If you ain't first, you're last, right?
Yeah.
Uno X Mobility, they got this Abrahamsen in the breakaway every day. A lot of TV coverage. I think they're doing great. First Tour de France.
I think
he's getting a lot of coverage, even though he's not leading the King of the Mountains.
Correct, and people, he's impressing the whole world. So there's the list of teams. Quick breakdown on that.
I mean, just take 2 of those teams, right? And we'll compare and contrast the team meetings, right? If you're Tor Hushovd running Uno X versus Mark Madio running Groupama FDJ, right? Those are very different vibes, right? Yeah. Tor is saying, hey, you guys keep trying. Like, we're out there, we're on TV, we're a much, the smallest team in this race. Yeah. We're doing a hell of a job. Just keep trying, right? And people are seeing that. We're talking about it. We're seeing it. This Abrahamson kid, I don't know what they feed this kid, but he's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going and going. That's a good look.
Yeah.
FTJ, David Gaudu got spit out the back today on a flat road.
Yeah.
Not dropped in crosswind, didn't crash, just sat up. Like Matteo, just having watched him over the years, he is apoplectic at these kids.
Yeah,
right now.
they got that
Very
young kid,
different.
Lenny Martinez. So
Yeah.
could win.
I actually think that someone who'll come to the fore in the third week here is Education First Carapaz.
Yeah.
We've seen him a little bit quite present.
I will lay you anything you want on that. That's not happening. That is not happening.
Why is
That's just not. But
I don't know. He's looking good. I agree with Sir Bradley.
Here's the real talk. This last week, of all these teams you just listed that have not won a stage, are not going to win one. They're going to leave the tour without a stage
I
win.
don't know about that. Sir Bradley, what do you think?
Look at the last week.
We'll hold him to that.
It's going to be GC.
You're holding to that.
We'll
We'll hold him to that. Yeah.
It's you're going to see more Pogacar, more Vingegaard. Like these stages, I listed them off the other day with the vert each and every day. These are diabolical stages, which add up to a diabolical last week. All those teams, they're leaving Nice, which is the last stage here, without a stage win. This is too many hard days.
What a segue. Let's go straight to the profile for tomorrow and talk about that. Woof. Look at that doozy.
For you people who know the history of the tour, we touched on it in the first week. I think there's a handful of really iconic climbs that everybody knows, right? You have Alpe d'Huez, you have Mont Ventoux, and you have the Tourmalet, which is the first climb tomorrow. It's just nasty. It's just long.
And it's
nasty.
the other side, actually, that is not typically raced over.
Yep. And then, I mean, you have a very short stage, 152 kilometers, 4,000 meters of vert.
Short stage and distance-wise, not time-wise.
Right. Yeah. But it animates the stage. I mean, look.
Which side of the Tourmalet did you prefer?
The traditional side.
Yeah.
The
La
Mongie side. Mongie side, yeah.
Because that's a long old haul up the valley towards the other side, isn't it?
Yeah. What about you, Bradley?
I like the side they're going up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit more. It was about a 2 hour climb, isn't it, from the valley?
Yeah.
We went up there in 2012, that side.
Yeah. In fact, I think I was in the breakaway in 2012 there. And I busted my ass coming down the Mongie side. Wasn't a great day for me.
Because coming down the side they go up, it's quite sketchy descent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drops off the sides and things. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Actually, you know why I crashed? I was in the breakaway with Jens Voigt, and he was like, he did some like lame attack for mountain sprints, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, so I got pissed off and I attacked him on the descent and I crashed coming down La Mongie.
That's what you get with hanging with Voigt. But and this is just the beginning of just a string of really terrible days. If you did allow yourself to look to Sunday, I mean, this back-to-back, of course, have the rest day Monday. These 2 days, like, folks, get the popcorn. This is the start of the tour, and this whole thing we've talked about the last few days with UAE and Pogacar and tactics and questionable tactics. Like, we're going to see if they've figured it out and if they're realistic and smart about their tactics. But they got it. There'll be some action tomorrow.
This is the first day I recall you guys giving UAE like a grade A on tactics with the Yates thing.
Yeah. Well, I think they've been listening to the show.
Yeah.
Well, it's possible.
Our friend Alan Piper listened to it when he was running the show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's that.
But in the past, we've been critical, and they didn't change. So,
yeah, but that's the way you're supposed to do it. Now they lost one of those. They lost Ayuso. That's another guy that, had he stayed healthy, had he stayed in the top 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders, that's a guy you can throw in a break up the Tourmalet, right? He's gone. You still throw Adam Yates up there. Still throw some other guys there that makes the other teams ride. The other teams are. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Visma Lease Bike is going to have to ride. Right. And by the way, they look great today. Christian Laporte. Laporte was great. Jorgensen's great.
I think we could see that tomorrow from Visma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just going for the
You think we see it that soon?
Coming off the back of the other day.
I know we're going to see it. You think we see it that soon? It's a great question. Do we see it tomorrow?
I mean, if you were the DS of Visma, tomorrow's a good day down to start opening up this race. And I think the harder the stages are in the mountains for Jonas, the better that it will suit. It's his better chance. The easier it is, and the more they play into Pogacar's hands, more chances he does have to attack in that. But Wout van Aert's coming good now.
Yeah.
They've probably got the firepower. They want to get rid of as many bodies as possible.
And we'll get a couple questions answered tomorrow, whether or not Pogacar had an issue with nutrition, proper fueling, or if he actually went over the limit too much and just couldn't recover. I think we'll have a good indication.
But these are the climbs that will suit Jonas better.
Yeah. And he's lighter than ever.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to come in all heavy like last year.
Well, it's funny you say that because Pogacar said he'd be suited better for these longer, higher altitude climbs. So, I mean, there's a lot of...
When did he say that, though?
When they race over those 4K climbs, I forget it. Like
so
last week.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
We remarked, of course, Tadej Pogacar is he's leading the mountains classification, the polka dot jersey. He's not wearing it because obviously he's wearing the yellow one. But we both remarked, Sir Bradley, the podium ceremony. He looks stressed.
Yeah.
And we both. It popped on the screen, and we looked at each other. I was like, I don't know what it is, and I'm not trying to be some genius face reader here, but he just looked. He looked distracted.
Well, I think since the other day, he's certainly got the harder days, hasn't he, in terms of the press he has to do. He's going up twice on the podium and getting both jerseys every day. You can imagine the line of questioning he's had since the other day now. Are you looking forward to the mountains? It's all been the sort of narrative of the questioning has always been about, do you think that you are Jonas is going to be stronger than you in the mountains? So the attention's normally been on him about how good he is, and that it's a different sort of line of questioning now. And Jonas has had those easy days. Yeah. Jonas won the stage the other day. He's been able to sit back, and the question now is, will Jonas win the Tour de France? And that's been something that Pogacar hasn't been used to.
Yeah,
this year.
Pogacar had a microphone in his face saying, "Did you lose the mental battle today?" That's a brutal question.
That's pretty direct.
Nobody. Yeah, I don't ever want that question.
And then it went to Jonas, same guy. That's the French guy that does the post. Yeah. He did the same thing to Jonas. Did you win the mental battle today? Think of the difference on that.
Well, the answers are, we know the answers to those. But it's a good point. I think I'm with you on that. I think they have to start to make the race hard so that Pogacar is truly tested. I don't even think here, starting tomorrow, I don't think you have to gain time on him, but you certainly don't want the stages. You don't want to make them easy for him. Like, even if okay, we're going to finish same time, Vingegaard's coming through unscathed. He's got some reserves in the tank. You want Pogacar to be riding in threshold and riding close to that. So you just start to wear him down. And who knows? I mean, anybody can have a bad day, and then you have to go, of course. But I agree with you. Start making it hard.
Yeah, if I'm UAE, also, I'm gonna want to try to hold my top guys like Adam Yates and Joao Almeida close to me as long as possible, and not do anything near what he did the other day, which is get rid of him with 3 climbs to go.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I always found helpful on days like this, because it's a long way between the summit of the Tourmalet and the start of the next climb. It's a long way downhill. Then you have those valley roads where it's kind of still going up and down. And you want the likes of Wout van Aert there and that to come back up with bottles, to come back up, you'll stop for a wee. You want those guys there. It's as important to be assisted on the descent and in that bottom part of the valley before each climb than it is on the climb. So they want to get bodies over the climb, that first Tourmalet.
I agree.
He's done it before.
Because the cars take ages to come up, don't they, with all the groups being dropped.
Yeah. I know we have some other things to talk about. I just want a quick update. This could almost be George has just launched his career as a short documentarian, but this could literally be a reality show, and it's Sir Bradley in Aspen. I just want an update. We had the rodeo update. Apparently, you're out last night. And I heard, because I don't go out with you guys. I don't like people, so I don't go out in public. But I know you guys are out and about. And
we just went for dinner.
Yeah.
Well, no, but there was some other run-ins with people.
Well,
fun run-in with somebody.
Everyone seems to know George's. And George will talk.
Hey, I have friends texting me picture I just ran into Sir Bradley Wiggins here in Aspen. He's blown up here.
When I'm with George, people seem to come up to George as if they've known him his whole life, and George will engage in conversation for 5-10 minutes, hugs and everything like that. And then he'll sit down and I'll say, George, who are they? He goes, I have no idea.
but then also they also said to Bradley Wiggins, Holy shit, you actually exist?
You're
Sir
real
Bradley?
in the flesh.
Yeah. And what about the cop? The cop started yelling at George. That was
Yep, I got yelled at by the police yesterday. That was kind of funny.
I was hoping Bradley would tell the story.
Well,
Yeah,
so
tell the story,
George
Bradley.
was going faster than 10 miles an hour, which is the speed limit on the bike paths.
Yeah.
So he was being waved down by the cops. He slowed down and they said, keep it below 10. Have a good day, George.
They're like, whoa. Keep it below 10. Have a great ride, George. I'm like, oh, shit, thank you. Kind of funny.
Yeah. I'd be in the big house.
I do want to hear about your son Ben too.
Yeah,
a little bit of an update.
That's right.
Before we get to
So
a
he's at-
great video clip.
He's at the European Track Championships in Cottbus in Germany, and he finished second in the points race yesterday.
Great.
So his first year under 23. So he was junior European points race champion. So
See, I thought he was all right. I thought he was defending his European.
no, he's moved up to U23 first year. So
Well, that's amazing.
yeah,
That's amazing.
it's a good performance. He's progressing well.
Yep.
So
we
yeah.
FaceTimed with him
Yesterday.
yesterday. It was last night for him.
Last
He was
night.
getting ready. What a good kid. Yeah.
That's cool. Now, so, Sir Bradley, we have a listener named Joe Natoli, and he's a graphic artist, and he is incredible with Photoshop. So he takes storylines from the show and makes all kinds of posters for us. And you're the victim this time in a good way.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow. And if you're just listening, oh, wow. Sir Bradley Wiggins, the good, the bad, and the Wiggo.
Yeah.
So clearly George is the good. I get it, right, Joe? George is the good. I'm the bad. What's new? And now we have the Wiggo. Rated. That's him. Rated R plus. Only on We Do. That's
great.
I mean, over the years, Joe's had some really. Boy, he's had some whoppers.
I like that one.
We look. I will say though, we look pretty good in the back, George.
And before we get to Ventum Trivia, another thing. This is sent to us by a listener, Patrick.
That mic's giving you a hell of a
I
time.
know,
over
it
there.
just got loose at a bad time. Yeah, Patrick sent us a video. This was like an internet show or maybe a TV program that Sir Bradley did. And at the very beginning of the show, he does an impersonation of our very own George Hincapie.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Which was...
Oh, George gave me that.
Oh, George Hincapie.
Yeah.
With sawn off sleeves as well.
Hincapie. George, you win game with him. You really win. Remember that
Yeah, I
documentary?
do, yeah.
He says I won, but if you're looking at the photo. No, George, you really win.
Oh wow.
Funny. That's funny. I like it.
Did you say that? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome.
He wouldn't accept that he'd won. No, George, you really win. Okay, if it's true, then that's great. I'm very happy. But
I seen the photo.
Just buy his shit, okay? Just whatever you do, buy his shit.
buy your shit.
That's another one of Wiggo's favorites.
All right.
But we forgot the moose. You saw a moose,
Yeah,
Here
so I
in
saw
Aspen.
a moose in Aspen. Yeah,
which is kind of those are not those are
scare
not.
me.
At first, I thought it was a horse. Then I saw the long head, and I knew that they were dangerous because I have been debating as to whether you can go up to bears and feed them out the palm of your hand like a cat.
The answer is no.
Yeah, well, I've realised that now, but there's not really many bears and moose in London, so I kind of got to grips with it. But I turned quickly and took another street. But there is a moose, a loose.
Smart.
Yeah.
In Aspen.
Yeah.
Watch out, people.
Yeah, they're back. They're back in Aspen. They spent many years here, and then there was this whole, I think, a few decades where nobody really saw the moose, and
He's back.
I don't know how you say
back.
plural, like multiple mooses or multiple moose. Anyways, you're seeing them more and more. They're sort of starting to migrate back up valley here, so that's kind of cool. And I mean, yeah, cool to see. Definitely don't go near them, folks.
Yeah.
This public service announcement brought to you by Sir Bradley Wiggins. You had another great idea for the Bears, because they keep, I don't know where you came up with this, but they do
Well, they lock
get
the
in
bins,
people's
don't they?
trash and they
Yeah.
try to get in people's houses, as happened to us last summer.
So one of the things they do in London to help the homeless is they have soup kitchens and kitchens for the homeless. And I thought if they had a bear kitchen.
They just go there.
No, because someone said to me that the bears are getting more intelligent. They can open the bins. That's why they lock them.
Right.
Yeah.
So and they'll come back if they go in someone's house. They know and come back. So they'll know where the bare kitchen is, and it will combat the problem.
We might as well open a bear nightclub while we're at it.
He would need somewhere to go afterwards.
He would
Bear
be
kitchen.
there.
But maybe
funny.
that's the job for the feed. We can discuss that tonight with the feed. Give
Bear
feed
Kitchen
bags.
brought to you by the feed.
Bear kitchen.
Yeah, Bear Kitchen.
All right, Ventum trivia, so we can give away a brand new NS1 at the end of the tour. Yesterday's question was, besides Cav, what is another nickname often given to Mark Cavendish?
Low bum.
That is?
Low bum.
Manx, Manx.
Oh, that wasn't the answer.
no,
Tell me about that one.
Yesterday's.
Because his bum's quite low to the floor, so we call him low bum.
The official one is the Manx Missile.
Manx.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Low bum. I haven't heard that one.
That's what the public call him, not his teammates.
Today's question is, last November, Germany's Amazon Prime released a documentary on Jan Ulrich. What was it called? We'll take either the English or German title. All right. Send it to ventumracing.com/themove.
Did you see the documentary with subtitles?
I've seen clips of it. I haven't actually watched the full
I have
doc.
the film, and for those, I would forward it to everybody that's listening. Might be hard. They sent me, so I sat down it was a 4-part documentary on Amazon Prime in Germany. I think it ultimately will be released here in the U.S. or English-speaking parts. But so I sat many times for interviews. Everybody knows how much I love the man. I would do anything in the world for him. So I sat for the interviews. And so they sent me the all 4 parts with subtitles, and it's amazing, right? And so I will send it to you so you can watch it.
Please do.
But when it comes out, when and if it comes out in English, don't miss it. It's very, very special and tells us. This is not the story that people know, right? This man has led a very difficult, challenging life, and hey, here we are today. He's perfectly healthy. I love just seeing him out there and on the right line. Like it's special, and the film is really well done. It's raw, I will tell you, as it should be. But I think it's been good for him. I think people saw the totality of his life and everything he went through, and can view his situation differently. Very special.
I read a biography on him, and if you haven't walked in those shoes, you don't know.
No.
Here's an email from Matthew in Eagle, Colorado. Is that close to
That's
it?
pretty close. That's about an hour away.
Okay. Lance, Bradley, George, the tour has brought out some great competition so far and has been much fun to watch. Are there any riders, this is a tough question, but a good one. Are there any riders in the peloton that remind you of yourself at any point in your career? If so, who, and explain why? Great question.
No.
You're pretty unique. All of you are pretty unique.
These guys, and plus these guys are just so dynamic and can do pretty much everything and are young. I feel like the sport's changed a lot since our day.
Yeah. I mean, George is a lot like Wout van Aert. It really is. I mean, minus the cyclocross stuff, but that's the thing about Wout van Aert, right? Can win and contend for classics races. But when you need him to get over the big climbs in the tour, you'll see tomorrow. He's going to get over.
Maybe this is how the question should have been phrased. Like, who would you pick that reminds you of Lance or Sir Bradley in the
someone
peloton?
like that. You know, the French guy from Visma. He reminds me of you.
Oh yeah, Christophe Laporte.
He can do a lot. He won classics winner, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
He won the same classic as you, isn't he?
Potentially.
With him.
Jurgensen reminds me of you. He hasn't quite been GC powerhouse in the Tour de France yet, but like he can race the classics.
Yeah.
He can win races like Paris-Nice.
Yeah.
Climb with the best in the world, and maybe, who knows, hopefully one day win the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Reminds me of you.
All right. Next one.
Oh, and this is a message, because we talked about this a couple of years ago, and I think we kind of forgot. And this is about Vingegaard. And I didn't clip their name who sent it. I apologize. Oh, it's a YouTube message anyway. You guys are talking about Vingegaard at the end and him being robotic, monotone, etc. There's some things you need to understand about Danes. First of all, no matter which dialect we speak, and there are wildly different dialects for such a small country, when we speak a foreign language, 99% of us end up speaking in a monotone. I have no idea why. I don't do it myself, but it's probably something about the way we pronounce words. Also,
So he's the 1%.
yeah, right.
All right.
Also, why Danish is such a Danish is a very difficult language for foreigners to learn. As to his personality, is naturally quiet and shy guy. On top of that, he's from Jutland, where we are more calm, and lack of a better word, than the people from Copenhagen. We don't use big words or big gesticulations, and we don't like braggarts or pushy people. And Jonas is from Northwest Jutland, which is just about the epitome of the very Jutland attitude of life.
Okay.
We talked about this a couple of years ago. Then that explained his, like, he wouldn't say much. And he's opened up a little bit this year.
Well, he's got the mustache going. I mean, I saw an interview with him talking about the mustache. He's, we talked about it yesterday. I don't know what you called it, the football mustache, 11 on 11. But he's having fun. I mean, he was fun in the interview talking about it. But I think it probably helps in this sport, right? Strategically, tactically, in terms of patience, being humble, just being very measured. Right. What I heard you say with these folks from where, by the way, I don't even know where this place is either, but I kind of know where Denmark is, but with the Jutland or whatnot, but very measured, right, and patient, and that oftentimes helps in pro bike racing, especially the Tour de France.
All right, one more goofy question. We know sleep and recovery is an essential component for a 3-week race. Have you ever shared a room with a teammate snoring so loud it impacted your recovery? That's from David in France. Or let's broaden that. A disruptive roommate.
Yeah. I've definitely had a few.
That ruined your recovery.
We've had a lot of roommates in the day. I mean, not Mr. Lance over there, but most of us have, and you always have.
Well, I had a teammate, a French teammate. I won't say who it was.
Oh, come on, say who it is.
No, it was the day before the time trial, so he wasn't going to. I was in the French team. He wasn't going to be doing anything. Most French riders or anyone in any team, when it comes to the time trial day, it's a day off for them. They just have to get within the time. He thought I was asleep, and he was pleasuring himself.
I knew we were going here. So hang on, hold on. No, don't go anywhere. Stay here.
Sorry.
Okay, so continue. So
My goodness.
all right, this is really fucked up. But did you roll around and maybe act like you're waking up?
I was just waiting till he had to wait till he finished.
That is
And then
fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting, but yeah.
And that's a wrap.
But
y'all.
I came down to breakfast the next day and told everyone. So when he came down,
You did.
il a prendre la bite là.
Oh my God! On that note, we'll leave you with that. But just know, starting tomorrow, this is going to get real spicy. We got 2 back-to-back days, then the rest day, and then it just continues. So, as I said earlier, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.